Hey everyone, Andrew here. I want to take a moment to do a review of a well-known training program. Before we get to that, my first two videos were a little more general in content. They were kind of meant just for like the average person who just wants to be a little fitter and healthier. And I posted those on the webpage for the gym that I work at, as well as the channel. But I'm going to start creating content geared more towards the avid lifter as well. Someone who wants to see pretty drastic improvements in strength and performance. So there will be those kind of videos coming out soon too. But I'm going to kick off with a review of a well-established program because I've seen a couple people on Instagram and Facebook and stuff giving it a try, so I just want to throw in my 2 cents, and that program is the Smolov Squat Program. This is a fairly well-known squat program. If you're not familiar with it, I urge you to look it up. I don't want to go into the details of the program because it's pretty lengthy. It's 13 weeks. But suffice to say, it is a Russian high-intensity, high-frequency, high-volume squatting program designed by Sergei Smolov, and it was popularized by Pavel Tsatsouline. Probably butchered that, but it was popularized by him in an issue of it was Powerlifting USA a while back. So that's kind of where it started to become more well known, and since then a lot of people have tried it. The goal basically is to build up a monster squat, and again, you're squatting 3 to 4 times a week at pretty high intensities, and towards the end of the cycle, extremely high intensities. Pretty sure the last training day of the cycle is, I think it's 3 sets of 4 at 95%. So yeah, program doesn't mess around. Now, I did this about 2 years ago now. I decided to do it for front squats instead of back squats, and I went from a 290-pound front squat to a 325-pound front squat in those 13 weeks. If you're familiar with the layout of the program, you know there's 2 mesocycles, and in the base mesocycle, I added 15 pounds to my front squat, and in the intensity mesocycle, I added another 20. And both those cycles are 4 weeks apiece. First one actually has 3 weeks of work, and then a week of deload, and then a retesting of the max, and the intensity mesocycle is 4 weeks. So not bad improvements for 3 or 4 weeks of work, right? Here's the issue, is that, yeah, I hit a 325-pound front squat, which was great, and then I decided to do a powerlifting meet shortly afterwards, and it did help my back squat go up. I added about 25 pounds to my back squat as well, so that was a pretty nice improvement. It actually helped my deadlift too, even though I wasn't deadlifting during the cycle or during the Smolov squat routine. And I did okay at the powerlifting meet, and all I was doing was squat, bench, and deadlift for like 2 months though. And so then I came out of it. I got back into front squat and stuff like that, and my front squat wasn't that strong. Definitely wasn't 325 pounds anymore. I want to say that I 4-repped 290, finishing up Smolov, and then I know that I was struggling to 5-rep 275. I don't think I was even able to. I think I was like 3 or 4 repping 275 then in the months following Smolov. So my strength did drop off a little bit. Now, it definitely didn't go back down to where it was before I started, but I was probably more around like the 3 to 305 pound front squat range instead of the 325. So not 100, even though you can make amazing progress, not 100% of the progress you make stays with you after the program ends. Basically, your nervous system is so charged up, basically, to put it simply, and you're so efficient in that movement in the squat that you kind of hit like an artificially high number, and you can't hang on to 100% of the progress that you make. So I held on to about half my progress. So if you put like 40 or 60 pounds on your squat, which are not unreasonable numbers for what Smolov is supposed to do, I actually didn't put as many pounds on my squat as I thought I would. But then again, it was a front squat, and I'm not a big guy. I think I weighed about 150 pounds at the time. So, they're decent improvements in relation to body weight. The bigger you are, the more weight you can put on your squat. I've even heard of some people putting like 100 pounds on their squat. So even if you keep like half of that, that's still pretty good. But the thing is that the program is just so difficult. I was laying on the floor between some sets. I was bringing in bags of cereal and Gatorade just to have like sugar in my body, some carbs in my body, just to keep training. Because some of the training sessions lasted so long that couldn't get through them all without eating more. It was just an awful program. And I wasn't doing that much work besides the squats. I wasn't doing any sort of deadlifting or anything. I was doing a little bit of bench pressing, like 3 sets of 20, pretty light. Same thing with shoulder press, and then like some pull-ups and chin-ups and some easy rows. So I wasn't doing any sort of conditioning or anything like that. And my upper body work was really light, and I was still having a really hard time recovering from it. Pretty much the only reason I did recover from it was because I was able to go home and sit on the couch all day and just drink a gallon of milk. And I'm not exaggerating. I would work about like 3 hours. I would go train, and then I would come home and just drink milk and sit on the couch and hang out. So, and also it kind of messes with your social life, because if you go out and stuff on the weekends, you're not going to do well in regards to progress. So, if you like to go out and stuff, and then such a rigorous program definitely isn't for you, because you won't recover from it. I think overall it can serve to be a good mental test, but again, there's not really much of a point in devoting 13 weeks just to test yourself mentally. You can push yourself through a really hard, shorter challenge. If even something that takes 10 minutes, it can still be mentally grueling to build your mental toughness. You don't need 13 weeks to do that, or to try and train that aspect of fitness. Unless your squat really, really, really matters to you, or unless you're trying to train for a world record squat, I think that there are other methods you can use that would give you similar improvements in your squat, and not one, be so difficult, but two, also allow you to keep training your upper body and your deadlifts as well, and see more consistent improvement in those things. Because my upper body did not get a whole lot stronger during the Smolov Squat Program, and so that's one thing that I definitely wish I'd known going into it. I'm not going to say I regret doing the program, because I learned a lot from doing it, but I wouldn't recommend that most people. I would recommend that most people don't do it, unless you have a specific reason for wanting to do something that specific and that intense, which again would be a world record squat, or just really wanting to prove something to yourself for whatever reason. Otherwise, there are more feasible and even easier ways to build up your squat strength and keep making consistent, well-rounded progress, instead of doing a shock program basically to give you insane short-term progress and sacrifice long-term progress. So overall, I would not recommend the Smolov Squat Program. Going forward, I will discuss other programs that I've used in the future that have actually helped me a lot. So be on the lookout for those, as well as other original content coming out. Thank you for watching.